Shalom, and welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, let me just say thank you to the new subscribers and thank you to my older subscribers. I appreciate you all very much. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and like this video. This is gonna be a breakdown brief and picks for the fights that are coming up this weekend, March 29th. We have two cards, a top rank card, and we have a DAZN card. The main bouts on both of those respective cards, they're rematches. Excuse me. So, on the top rank card, we have Michaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan. And in that first fight, Michaela Mayer took Sandy Ryan's WBO World Welterweight title. Michaela Mayer is 20-2. Sandy Ryan is 7-2 with one draw. Michaela Mayer is the more experienced fighter with 164 rounds. Sandy Ryan has 77 rounds, but she's not a prospect. Is 7-2-1. She obviously is a contender who had her title taken, and I feel like Michaela Mayer won that handily. I saw improvements in Michaela Mayer, in her power, in her delivery. She was sitting down on her shots. She was turning over her shots, as well as this right that she was throwing, a rear right, a straight right. The way she held her body and reached in her shots, not allowing Sandy the opportunity to get in when she wanted to. She controlled the fight. When she wanted to get in on the inside, she got in on the inside. I don't feel like Michaela had any fear of what was going to come back from Sandy. With that being said, Sandy did good work. She got in good shots. I thought I saw her giving some good power shots, but again, Michaela Mayer claims that she felt nothing. So with that being said, there were issues, and let me go back and say this. On my previous live, I said something that was incorrect. I said that Michaela Mayer was moving away from Sandy's power hand. I was incorrect. I went back and looked at the fight. Michaela Mayer was moving into Sandy's power shot, or into her power hand, which is Sandy's right. Michaela was moving to her left, circling out. The thing is, Sandy Ryan never cut that ring off. All she had to do was step to the right. It would have allowed her to, one, get closer, and to be able to get the work off that she so desperately wanted to, because in the lead up to the first fight, there was a lot of drama. There were accusations of coaches jumping ship. There was paint thrown on Sandy Ryan, and Sandy blamed Michaela Mayer in her camp. Michaela in her camp denied it. Sandy Ryan came in that ring angry. She fought upset. I've said before on my channel, it's never a good idea to fight upset. When you do that, it messes up a lot of things. It can mess up your accuracy. It can mess up your ability to read your opponent, their tells on what they're about to throw. Your brain could be so scrambled that you're not getting out of the way of shots, as well as being so tense that you're loading up on shots. And it was just evident. It was evident that she was fighting angry, and in doing that, I don't think she was thinking to make adjustments. But again, she did get some shots off, um, especially when Michaela Mayer would come and fight her um, in the pocket. It is what it is. It turns out that, yes, the accusations were true. Coach K. Karama is in Sandy Ryan's corner, and he will be training or coaching alongside Sandy Ryan's brother in this upcoming fight Saturday. Um, with Coach Karama in Sandy's corner, I do believe he brings a level of calm. I believe he brings a level of zen. And though Michaela Mayer, who, if you are her enemy, she's gonna get in your head. That's what she's gonna work to do. And I don't know if that is for the purpose of selling the fight or if she's just like that. But she tried to get in Sandy's head. We're gonna see if she did. But with Kay in her corner, Sandy should be more calm. Hopefully, because I think he is a decent coach. If she takes instruction and goes out and executes, she should know how to cut off that ring already. She should have already known that. But she'll be able to make the proper adjustments that she needs to. I think she also could stand to up her output. Up her output and get off the center line, because she was eating a lot of shots because she would not move her head. And as far as the output, yeah, there were points where she was throwing some good combinations, but Michaela Mayer would throw double that, in countering, or up your output, cut that ring off, and get to Michaela's body. Man, get to Michaela's body. As far as Michaela goes, I don't know. I don't know that there's anything she can prove. Obviously, she won. But I will say this. I said she improved this fight in comparison to the fight before their first match, where she fought Natasha Jonas in Liverpool over there in the UK. Just her style looks different, though. Again, power. The sitting on the shots, the straight right. That's another thing I think that she's corrected, and I don't want to say perfected because it's not perfect, but it was beautiful. She said that the people that she has in her camp now, I guess, that have placed Coach Karama, that they've kind of enlightened her. They've opened her eyes to things. She's has a better understanding and seeing things, which says to me her IQ has expanded, which also says to me in this fight we could actually see Michaela step it up a whole nother level again, even with Sandy Ryan adjusting. With that said, I'm gonna pick Michaela Mayer by split decision, because I think it may be close this time, for real. Again, it's just my opinion that it wasn't close the first time, but some people felt it was. I think it may be so close, this could be a draw, which would mean we might get a third fight out of this. But I got Michaela Mayer by split decision. Also on that card, we have a fighter that I thoroughly support, and I'm an avid supporter of. That is Brian Norman Jr. He's fighting Derek Cuevas. Brian Norman Jr. is 26-0 with 20 knockouts. Derek Cuevas is 27-1, 1 loss, 1 draw with 19 knockouts. Their records are very similar. Derek Cuevas is a very good boxer out of Puerto Rico. And I have to say, I see a lot of similarities in these two gentlemen. A lot, just to my eye. And I'm not saying in their style, but just across the board and what they do. Both of these guys have very good power, like very, very good power. Both of them have good timing. Both of them have a good punch selection. I do feel like Derek Cuevas goes to the body more, which is not saying Brian Norman Jr. doesn't. Derek just does it more. Obviously, Brian does because that's how he beat Santion. And he did a very good job of that. Obviously, we know should have been a knockout of the year last year if it was not. Both of them have very good feet. The only difference I would say is I feel like Brian Norman Jr.'s are better as far as his ability to utilize them, utilize his feet more in the ring, moving around in the real estate of the ring generalship. Where Cuevas, he has basic good feet, foot movement, but I don't know that I see him moving people around the ring as much as he follows them and beats up on them. Again, he has very good power, but I say he has like a sneaky power. When you watch his fights, when I watch his fights, and the shots that I've seen thrown, obviously he's knocking people down. He's knocking people out. But to my eye, it doesn't look the same as some of the punchers we see. And somebody's getting punched on. But he has a sneaky power, in my personal opinion. They both are good defensively. I feel like Derek Cuevas is a little bit better defensively. He slips under shots. He gets his head off the line and steps out, right, away from shots. Brian Norman Jr., it just depends. From fight to fight, sometimes he definitely has a high guard that he uses, but he takes a lot more shots than I would like to see him take, especially considering he's young. You have a long ways to go still in this game if you so choose. We want to see you do it healthily and not take certain shots that are unnecessarily taken because you can. I would like to see him get his head off the center. He does not do that a lot, if at all. Yeah, I would like to just see him be more defensively responsible and hold the phone with this guy, because there is something I have noticed with Cuevas. Again, yes, he has the power, but he has this weird angled uppercut that he throws too. Left uppercut, left hook is strong. His jab, obviously, is strong. His lead hand is strong. We're just going to say that. Derek's lead hand is strong, and Brian Norman Jr. needs to be on the move even. I was going to say be cautious, but he needs to be on the move from this left hand of Derek. That being said, Derek needs to be understanding of the fact that there is going to be some heat coming his way. We've heard stories about Brian Norman Jr. The boy has crack. He has since he was a teenager. I've heard this from someone I personally know and have talked to that have been in the ring with this man. He has power. He has crack. The man has broke his hands 2, if not 3 times because he hit so hard. So Cuevas needs to understand there's heat coming his way. He may want to hold the phone. Both of them need to protect that body. But with that said, I would like to see Brian Norman Jr. come out. I would like it to be a theme from the beginning to the end. Invest in that body. Invest in that body. and I think it'll pay off in spades. A lot of people are doubting Brian Norman Jr., and I will say this about him. Some things that I see or have seen as problematic with him. What's odd is I did not see this earlier in his career, but I seen it within the last 4 maybe fights. The stifling of his own work, smothering his own work. He has done that. I do feel like with the Quentin Randall fight, that was just a bad style matchup, but it happened in that fight. I see a lot of people, a lot of people making light of Brian Norman Jr. getting hit flush in his nose mouth area and getting knocked down. It's boxing. People get knocked down. He wasn't hurt. I'm sure it hurt to get hit, but he got up. He was not zinged. He was not dazed. He did not stumble around. He got up in that Boca Chica fight and continued to fight. The fight was a no contest, ending with Brian with the cut over his right eye. Boca Chica had a cut in his scalp. So, he has a chip on his shoulder. He feels like he has something to prove. Everybody's saying has this email belt. At the end of the day, yeah, he got something to prove. I just hope he plays it cool and he plays it smart and that he beats this kid. I have Brian Norman Jr. winning by knockout by the 9th round. I usually do not pick rounds. I do not like to pick rounds. But I'm going to make this pick and I'm going to make it stick here. Round 9 knockout for Brian Norman Jr. Now, on that undercard of that Top Rank main and co-main. By the way, the main and co-main are both WBO World Welterweight title bouts. Just for the record, men's and women's. On that undercard, we got Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Enrique Vivas. Bruce is 14-0. Enrique Vivas is 23-3. We have Delonte Tiger Johnson, who is 14-0, versus Kendo Castaneda, who is 21-8. We also have on that card Emiliano Vargas, who is 12-0, versus Giovanni Gonzalez, who is 27-2. So that's it for the top rank card. The next card is the DAZN card, and that will be William Zepeda Segura versus Tevin Farmer. This is also a rematch. This is also for a title, the WBC Interim World Light title. William Zepeda Segura is 32-0. Tevin Farmer is 33-7-1. Now, this fight is taking place in Cancun. That should say something to people automatically off the top. But let me proceed. Again, in some of the circles that I travel, the circles I travel most, I don't hear this disrespect. But I've been a couple of places and I've seen a couple of things. And I just need to let people know to put some respect on Tevin Farmer's name. He is a very good fighter. We're talking about a man who was out front with Golden Boy in its early days. We're talking about a man who was being mentioned in the same circle of having fights with a Gervonta Tank Davis. We are talking about a man who is a former champion. IBF, I think he was super feather for, if not 2 years, just a little short thereof. He had title defenses. Put some respect on Tevin Farmer's name. With that being said, I'm trying to do this quickly. He fought a very good fight. He sat in the pocket. He sat in the pocket with William Zepeda and he stifled him at times. Good counters. His output obviously was not as high as Williams Zepeda, but we know Williams Zepeda has a high output. But it wasn't as high because, again, Tevin was stifling a lot of that work. I can't say he was smothering himself because he literally was just stopping Williams Zepeda, making him reset. He didn't give up much ground at all, if any. Well, yeah, he gave up some ground. He didn't give up much ground, though, which may be a key. Maybe a key to fighting these flat-footed fighters, right? Now I did say this in another video, and I want to make light of it. He had an addition in his corner in Coach Mustafa. I believe Coach Mustafa is out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's a good coach. And between rounds 3 and 4, Coach Mustafa told him to sit in that pocket with him. He can't with you. And he was right, because Tevin Farmer came out in round 4 and knocked down Williams Zepeda, which we've never seen. Knocked him down with a left from a catch and shoot style left. Like, it was nice. He knocked him down. And I just think that, put it like this, I think Tevin can beat him. But again, this fight is in Cancun. It is against a golden boy, a built golden boy. Yes, I did say built, and I mean that. And that's not to say that Williams Zepeda is a bad fighter, but we just know how a lot of these dudes on Golden Boy are built. All these fights. Look, I'm not even gonna go there. Keys. I think there is definitely a key. Even though I don't know how to even say this. Even though I don't necessarily think that Tevin's going to win because I feel like the odds are against him, I will say there are keys to him winning if it should happen. I think he has to up his output. Firstly, continuously turn and pivot and stifle the way he did that first fight. Get him out of his flat-footed element. Make him move in ways that he doesn't. And I definitely believe Tevin Farmer has the skills to do this. Will he, though? That's another question. Hold the phone. Remain defensively responsible. He just has to stay sharp. And I will also say this. In that first fight, I feel like in the latter half of that fight, Tevin waned. I don't want to say he gassed. But here's the thing that we do know about Williams Zepeda. He has a high output from the onset of a fight to the end of the fight. He has a high output. He has a tank. He can go. So with that said, I just hope that Tevin Farmer worked on his constitution. I hope he tried to up his stamina. I hope he's been running, because he's going to need that gas. If he could do all these things that I said, I do believe he could actually upset Williams Zepeda. It's a matter of if. And again, with all the surrounding factors, it's probably likely not to happen. So with that said, I'm going to pick Williams Zepeda by unanimous decision. It just is what it is. I don't think they'll be fair for Tevin if he does do great things. At least I hope he gets another knockdown or two. I ain't even gonna lie. Also on this card, there's two other fights of fighters I'm familiar with. That is Oscar Collazo, who is 11-0, against Edwin Cano Hernandez, who is 13-2-1. This is for a WBO World Minimum title, and I believe this is a title defense for Collazo. Also on that card, we have another female fight, and that is Yokasta Valle, who is 32-3, and Marlon Esparza, who is 15-2. I like both of these ladies, but I choose Yoka to win by unanimous decision. That's it, and that's all. I pray that you guys are blessed. I pray that you enjoy your weekend and you enjoy your fights, and I pray that you receive the rest that we are required to receive. I love you very much, and I thank you for stopping by my channel. As always, Shalom, family.